Good morning, guys. Okay, let's talk about getting it done. How do you get your work done? Especially, we all have busy lives, and especially some of us, if you're working at a full-time job at the same time trying to do your side thing, right? It's really hard. How do you get it done? So, the answer is magical answer. You find the time. Do you ever wonder how whenever you think you have no time at all, and then you find the time to do it? Or, for example, I like to say when I had one kid, I thought, like, oh my god, I have no time. I have no time to do anything. And now that I have two kids, I was like, wow. When I had one kid, it was luxurious. What was I doing? I had so much time. And now with two kids, I have no time. And then I was thinking back, I'm like, well, the same things that happen with three kids, right? Not that I'm going to have three kids, maybe. I'm getting too old. Anyway. But if I had a third kid, I'd probably go back and say, like, oh, it was so luxurious with two kids. There was so much time. So the point of the story is there's always time. You just need to prioritize it and figure out what to cut and what's important, right? That being said, still, how do you find the time, especially with content creation? In my instance, the coursework for TDU was a big time-consuming task. It's creating a course, recording the videos, prepping for it, editing it. It takes a long time, and it wasn't only one course. We have a bundle of 8 courses. So we divided and conquered and kind of separated for each. Honestly, my partner took on more because I was swamped, and he did not have kids at the time. So, not that that's an excuse, but you have to compromise and make it work and just make it so that you have a deliverable product. That being said, it took me probably a year to get all my content, a little less than a year, to get all my content done. Granted, during that time, I had a new baby, I was on maternity leave, again, no excuses, but I actually did create a course while on maternity leave. So, I mean, those with a newborn, you really don't have that much time. So anything can happen. So this cast is about time and getting your as I say, I'll say your crap done, right? Your stuff done, your content done, whatever you need. And how do you find that time? Well, I am constantly working on this, and the key is to organize. I mean, that doesn't sound exciting. It actually sounds exciting to me, but that's how you do it. You organize yourself, you prioritize. That's a huge thing. So one thing that I'm doing, and I would challenge you to do too if you're working on a task, especially a task that seems daunting or a project that seems daunting, let's say, first step is just brainstorm on everything that you could be doing and your to-do list, essentially. And just don't think about it just like either on an online platform or on physical sticky notes like Post-its on a board. Just put down everything without any organization or anything. Anything you want to do. You want to write a blog post, you need to create a course, you need to take some photos, you need to, whatever it is. And so you put it all down, just like spit it out without thinking about it. And then after you have all the things you need to be done to complete this project, then you sit down and you organize. You organize first from big to small. You can do big to small tasks, kind of like time-wise, but then more importantly, you want to go through and say, what's your priority? What will get you closer to your goal? And what is the most important thing? Especially if there's something that's dependent, like, oh, I won't be able to do this until that other task is done, so that's higher on the priority list, right? So that way, what we're doing is you're prioritizing these tasks, and then you'll find that some tasks aren't necessary, especially for the initial launch, let's say. So that could just go aside. Forget about that. Don't get distracted by that. Don't waste your time on that now. And what we're looking for is kind of the minimal viable product, right? I'm not looking to, I will say this. I said it took us like a year to create the whole bundle. But did we wait a whole year to release it? Did we just kind of put it behind doors and release it? No, we actually released this bundle when we only had 2 courses done. And honestly, we could have released it when we had 0 courses done. And what we did is we announced it. We did pre-registrations at a special price, and we showed them the outlines of what we were going to do. And we were transparent too. We said, there's only 2 courses available now. That's why you're getting such a great price. And we are working really hard to finish all the courses during this year. And, and we kept them up to date. And this way it does 2 things, right? Well, one, you can start receiving revenue before your product's even done. But 2, it allowed us to iterate. For example, when we were working on a materials course, let's say, I could actually go into the current student base and ask them a question and get feedback on what they wanted to see in this course. And what that does is it gives you a better product because you're getting feedback, but then it also makes them feel like they're invested and that we care about their opinions, which we do. So forget that whole thing about I'm going to work on this project for 10 years and then I'm going to launch it and it's going to be perfect, because it's not going to be perfect. And then you've wasted that 10 years doing what? Or maybe it's going to be too late, in most cases it just never gets launched because you're so obsessed about getting that perfect product, that perfect whatever you're doing. And you just need to throw it out there and know that it's not perfect, and just think about it as an in progress, always progressing and getting better with each iteration. So that being said, where was I? You prioritize your tasks, and then from there, you make a plan. You make little sprints, and you kind of conquer one task at a time, small tasks at a time. It's so overwhelming to see this, but believe me, you're going to be overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed. You're like, oh my God, look at all this stuff I need to do, right? I'm never going to get it done. Oh my God, this is so overwhelming. Well, that's natural. It's a natural feeling. But how do you tackle it? You divide, you make it into small bite-sized pieces, and you gain momentum, right? So you take one task, and it's sometimes, I actually like to start with like a pretty easy task just to get my momentum going. Because if I start with like the hardest task, let's say, from the very beginning, and if it takes me, 3 weeks to get done, I'm going to be like, oh my God. It's going to be a little bit, it's a mental game, right? But if I start out with a small task that takes me a day or an hour to get done, it's like, yes, there we go, I'm on my way, even though it's like such a small thing. So think about that mentally too. I like to start out with like a small very easy manageable task to get me going, and then I kind of put the harder task in the middle of that sprint. So you want to prioritize it. You don't want to overwhelm yourself, and you want to focus on one main goal. If you have a team and it's not only yourself, have the team focus on completing that one goal instead of divide and conquer, which honestly is my go-to usually. I'm like, all right, you take this, I take this, whatever, we'll meet back. But you'll get work done, but the quality level, if you're all working, especially if you have different skill sets to bring to that task. Obviously, if a task for just one person, or if it's your specialty and no one else knows about it, go for it. Take it on yourself. But if it's a task where it will benefit from the group and different expertise and eyes, then I really encourage you to kind of embrace that and focus on making that really quality, and you'll get it out faster and the product will be better. So that is how you do it. And then you pick a certain group of tasks to do, and you divvy it out. You have a sprint. Let's say you say, for these 2 weeks we're working on this. Focus on this. Forget about all the other stuff on your task board. And then every day or every other day, however you want to do it, you have a quick check-in. And you say, what did I do yesterday? What am I doing today? Do I have any impediments, or do I have any problems going on? And you can quickly troubleshoot if there is a problem, and kind of quickly do iteratives. Like, think of like how to solve that problem if you run into a problem. Because what would happen if you don't do that every day or you don't discuss it? Well, let's say someone runs into a problem early on in the process, and then they're just sitting there for 2 weeks until like, oh, well, I'm gonna wait until the next meeting, which is in 2 weeks, and then I'm just gonna show up and say, I ran into this problem and I just never got it done. Well, there's 2 weeks just wasted. So that's why it's important to have these like quick meetings. And when I say quick, I mean like 10 minutes. I'm not talking about these like, believe me, I hate meetings. And if you're working for yourself and it's only you, then if you run into a problem, you know, don't just sit back and be like, oh, well, I'm done. Become a problem solver, because that's what you really need to do, and that's such an important trait to have as a solo business person. You need to figure out things yourself. The internet is there. If you're not finding the internet, which you probably would, go into forums, ask some friends that you think might have a good view on it. Just go out to lunch with a friend and troubleshoot with them. They're like, what? I thought we were just having lunch. But, use your resources. And be smart about it. And that's how you do it. And although you're if you keep on doing these little sprints, you're making progress. And not only that, I also want you to encourage you, whatever you're building, is to get feedback somehow along the way, as you progress. So you can adjust if necessary. If you find that your audience isn't really responding to a certain part of whatever your service or your product, then you can quickly adjust it, right? On the fly as you are developing whatever you're developing. Otherwise, if you take all this time behind doors to perfect it in the way you think it should be, and then you find that you take all this time and you launch it, and then you realize, oh, you know what, that's actually not what they want. In order for you to go back and redo that, it's going to take you so much time, and frankly, you might feel completely defeated and just never do it. So, what have I been learning, and what did I learn from my process, and what I encourage you is to, one, there's always time if you prioritize it. You either prioritize sitting on the couch and watching TV, or you prioritize exercising, or you prioritize, instead of that downtime, which I believe we all need that life balance, but find that time to say, no, this is the time I'm going to get this done, it's my priority, and get it done. And no excuses, right? No, I don't have time. Because we are all busy. And then you see these people, we all have the same amount of time in the day, right? I'm still waiting for that time machine to freeze time. I'll let you know if I ever discover it. But until then, we all have the same time, so it's just about prioritizing your time, and then also prioritizing your tasks. So you're putting your effort on the most important tasks that will get you to your goal, and not wasting time on tasks that won't get you there. So let's do it. What do you say? You in? Okay. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.